Hey everybody, today's topic is going to be fearfulness. Currently, there are over 40 million people in the United States who report living in fear. And that fearfulness ranges from dietary habits to loss of a loved one to what they're going to wear today, relationship concerns. I mean, there's an endless list. And so when we look at that, there are some things we can do to help manage that. So when you look at fearfulness, that typically stems from the Beck cognitive behavioral triangle. And what that triangle is, it looks like there's think is at the top of the triangle, feel is at the bottom right hand corner, and then act is at the left hand corner. And when you look at that think, feel, do triangle, it can look a little bit like this. So for people who are living in fearfulness, and we'll use an example. I like to use the example of a coworker. So if I have a coworker who, some days I go into work and they're very chipper and they're, "Good morning, Rhonda. Hope you had a great weekend." And then another Monday I go into work and they are, "Why are you looking at me?" or "Why are you talking to me?" or whatever it might be. Then, that inconsistency and incongruency that can impact your interactions with other people can provoke some fearfulness. So when you look at the people around you, you really have to be thoughtful about basing your thoughts and feelings on the actions of others. And that comes from feelings of self-worth. And so if you understand your self-worth and you understand that while other people will respond in different manners, it doesn't have to impact you and your health. Years ago, I had a marriage therapist, Joe Folatti, told me, "Hey, just because one partner is feeling upset and spinning out doesn't mean both partners have to spin out." And that is absolutely correct. So in any interaction that you're having with another human being, try to keep that in mind. Thanks, Joe. And when you look at the think, feel, do triangle, one way that an interaction like that can work or look like with a coworker is if I go in and they're being completely rude to me, I could think, "Wow, okay, I'm just the worst. I, came in here and didn't mean to and have just completely upset my coworker." And then I can end up feeling bad for the remainder of the day. And then my action could be to go home and just bury myself in a tub of ice cream or a warm bath or whatever that might be. So that's one way that can look, and that is those feelings of, fearfulness of, "Hey, I don't know what I'm going to get day to day with this person," or I can approach it differently. So the way that we can approach it differently to help start breaking down those barriers of fearfulness are, one, the thought process. So if I keep in mind, "Hey, you know what? I got up this morning. I'm having a great day. I came in. My coworker is clearly going through something, and that has nothing to do with me." So we sometimes can think more of ourselves than other people think of us. So keep in mind, hey, this person responded to me poorly or interacted with me negatively. That's their deal. It doesn't have to be mine. And so keep that in mind, your thought process. Hey, I'm here. I walked in. I said good morning. Clearly, nothing's happened that's wrong this morning that I'm aware of. So the thought pattern can be changed of like, hey, their actions are their responsibility. My actions are mine. So I can still respond and be polite and courteous. So that's the thought process. The behavioral or the feeling process can be, hey, my coworker's clearly going through something. The feeling could be feelings of empathy or understanding. Hey, I understand that they must have had something happen over the weekend, or even a place of understanding like, hey, they're having a day, or hey, you've heard that's just their personality. There are some of those too. So understanding that and not letting it become your deal is important. Because as I say all the time, while we do impact other people, we don't make decisions for them. They decide how they're going to behave, how they're going to process things, and ultimately what those actions are going to be. And the next one is act. So when you look at your actions, what does that look like? Okay, the thought process is, okay, this person's going through something. The feeling is empathy or understanding. And then the action can be, hey, sorry if you had a rough weekend or have something going on. If you need anything, I'm here. Or you could just offer, hey, if you need to talk, I'm available. Or you can just attempt to not rock the boat. Just continue to be polite and be courteous. And so we can modify, you know, how that fearfulness is inside of us and what it looks like by modifying our think, feel, do triangle. And we do have therapists available at Lifeline Therapy who can help you with that. But I encourage you to explore yourself a little bit, look at some of those things that are kind of recurring concerns with fearfulness, things that you often are like, okay, I'm definitely fearful of interactions with this person, or fearful about, you know, what I'm going to have for breakfast this morning, or, you know, what's the day going to be like at work. Explore all those different things and, you know, draft out how could your think, feel, do triangle look differently? Because we can think, hey, I'm the worst, and feel terrible all day, and then act in a way that's just, you know, pitiful, or even lashing out at others. Or we can modify that to positive thought processes of, hey, you know what? I'm having a good morning. This person's having a day clearly. And, you know, I understand that we all have our moments. And hey, I'm going to offer to be available if they need something, or I'll just continue to be polite. So this can look very different if you take the time to try to understand and process it. And it can take time, and it definitely takes practice. So if you need someone, I am available. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, guys. Bye.